Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today, we're going to be diving back into Hogwarts Legacy content, as over the past few months we've been given snippet after snippet of what's to come in the upcoming game. The planned release date for the game is December 2022, but with how many times it's been postponed so far, it's really hard to say. If you aren't privy to Hogwarts Legacy, it's a new open-world, role-playing, Harry Potter-themed game, where we, the player, embark on a journey into the wizarding world. We're put in the driver's seat, and we can effectively interact with the wizarding world however we want. The game takes place in the late 1800s, over 100 plus years before Harry ever steps foot through the doors of Hogwarts. But that doesn't mean we aren't going to come across familiar faces, places, and the focus of this video, creatures. Today, I'm going to be discussing 15 confirmed creatures that will appear in some way in the new Hogwarts Legacy game. Let's dive into it. 1. Dragons. Dragons pop up in the Harry Potter films quite a bit, and are frequently referred to as some of the most powerful creatures in existence. Dragons are giant, winged, fire-breathing beasts that incite fear in the hearts of even the bravest witches and wizards. They bear the potential to be extremely destructive, and they are even classified as Category 5X by the Ministry of Magic. This classification means that they are known to kill witches, wizards, and are either extremely difficult to or impossible to domesticate. We see or hear mentions of dragons pop up constantly throughout the books and films, and they are an integral part of the series. For these reasons, it should come as no surprise that dragons will appear in Hogwarts Legacy. From the promotional material we've seen so far, it looks like our character will encounter dragons in combat scenarios. I just wonder how many species of dragon are included. 2. Trolls. Trolls, which originally come from Norse mythology, were giant humanoid creatures of immense size, sometimes growing as tall as 12 feet and weighing up to 1 ton. It's also worth mentioning that there are several different subspecies of troll, including forest trolls, mountain trolls, river trolls, and the troll of Nadroj, a troll subspecies with disproportionately large hands. Trolls are incredibly dangerous, unpredictable, violent, and aggressive creatures that have a taste for human flesh, making them particularly terrifying. We see trolls in the trailer for Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm willing to bet that we're going to need to use some magic to confiscate those gigantic clubs. 3. Thestrals. A Thestral is a breed of winged horse that possesses skeletal and reptilian features, resembling a sort of evil Pegasus. They have dragon-like heads, pupil-less white eyes, and vast black leathery wings. The Ministry of Magic considers Thestrals to be dangerous, and they have a bad rap as omens of misfortune, because they are only visible to those who have seen death. We don't actually see Thestrals, until the state of play that is, but at one point in the Hogwarts Legacy trailer, we see a flying carriage being magically lifted into the air. If you're any sort of Harry Potter fan at all, then you'll know that Thestrals are responsible. 4. Merpeople. Merpeople are sentient magical beasts that live underwater and can be found all over the world. They are certainly mysterious creatures that we don't get to know very well in the story, only playing a relatively small role. Outside of Hogwarts, they reside in the Black Lake, and we only really see them during the events of the second task of the Triwizard Tournament, where they agree to keep 4 people in an enchanted sleep in their village for an hour, protecting them until they are saved by their respective champion. Provided that the lake near Hogwarts is featured in the trailer for Hogwarts Legacy, and that the lake is such an important part of the school grounds, I suspect it's highly likely that we'll encounter merpeople there. 5. Hippogriffs. Hippogriffs are magical beasts that have the front legs, wings, and head of a giant eagle, and the body, hind legs, and tail of a horse. One notable hippogriff in Harry Potter was of course Buckbeak, who Harry and Hermione helped save from execution in 1994. The game trailers feature hippogriffs on a few occasions, so I'm positive that we're going to get to experience them in-game. Who knows, maybe we'll even run into them in the Care of Magical Creatures class. 6. Acromantulas. Acromantulas are basically giant spiders. If you'll remember, the most notable acromantula from the series is Aragog, Hagrid's old pet and the reason for his expulsion from Hogwarts. Acromantulas are classified as a category 5X beast by the Ministry of Magic, and this is for good reason. It has been expressed that the leg span of acromantulas can be as large as 15 feet, which makes them a bit more intimidating than your average house spider. In the trailer, we see a Hogwarts student fighting off an acromantula, and though we can say for sure that this one wasn't Aragog, because of the date the game is set in, it doesn't mean that there weren't others living in the Forbidden Forest at the time. 7. Dementors. Dementors are cloaked creatures 3 meters tall with dark grey scabby skin. They are truly foul creatures that represent unhappiness and despair, and they are frequently known to be the guards of Azkaban prison, ensuring that all of the darkest witches and wizards inside do not escape. Dementors can strip you of your soul and leave you just a shell of a person, and that kind of power can't be ignored. However, their Achilles heel is the Patronus charm, as it is a positive light force that represents everything that they aren't. As a result, they are repelled by its presence. This means that as long as the witch wizard knows how to use a Patronus charm, then they are safe from Dementors. Provided that one confirmed aspect of Hogwarts Legacy is figuring out your player's Patronus, I'm willing to bet that we'll have to use them against Dementors at one point or another. 8. Inferi. The inferi, or an inferius, singular, is effectively a corpse that has been reanimated by a dark wizard's curse. According to Pottermore, the inferius becomes a grisly puppet used as an expendable servant by a dark wizard, adding that an inferius can be spotted by its white and cloudy eyes. Harry and Dumbledore are famously attacked by inferi in The Cave when trying to retrieve one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Inferi are front and center in the Hogwarts Legacy trailer, so I can't wait to see when we'll encounter them. Perhaps we'll learn some sort of fire spell to ward them off, an homage to Dumbledore. 9. Boggarts. Boggarts are essentially manifestations of our deepest, darkest fears. They are immortal, shape-shifting non-beings that transform into whatever you fear most. No one knows what a boggart looks like by itself, because it will transform as soon as you encounter it. When boggarts aren't scaring people, they can usually be found rustling around in confined spaces or lurking around dark corners. Boggarts are the perfect tool to keep players on their toes, and given that our characters will enroll in Defense Against the Dark Arts classes, it's inevitable that we're going to face a boggart or two. I wonder if character customization will allow us to choose our boggart. 10. Mooncalves. The mooncalf was a shy magical beast that only came out of its burrow during a full moon. The mooncalf had smooth, pale grey skin and 4 spindly legs that ended in large, flat, webbed feet. The mooncalf also had a very long neck and bulging blue eyes that sat on the top of its head. Though the mooncalf was first brought to our attention in Fantastic Beasts, it doesn't mean that the mooncalf's presence is absent from Harry Potter, or Hogwarts Legacy for that matter. We saw mooncalves on the very first trailers for the game, so you can bet we'll have a chance to interact with them. 11. Giants. Giants are incredibly powerful creatures that tend to live out their lives in tribes completely separate from the rest of the wizarding community. They are smarter than trolls, but stupider than humans, and their innate bloodthirsty nature has typically resulted in their own population control. Giants have been known, historically, to side with forces of evil rather than the forces of good, which means that if we're lucky, or unlucky I suppose, we may just get to fight off a giant or two in Hogwarts Legacy. 12. Graphorn. The Graphorn is found in mountainous European regions. Large and greyish purple with a humped back, the Graphorn has 2 very long, sharp horns, walks on large, 4-thumbed feet, and has an extremely aggressive nature. We see the Graphorn for the first time in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, as they don't make it on screen in Harry Potter. However, fortunately for us, they appear to be all over the trailers for Hogwarts Legacy. I'm sure we'll deal with them at one point or another. 13. Niffler. Nifflers are magical beasts with a long snout and a coat of black, fluffy fur. They are commonly attracted to shiny things, which usually ends up getting them into trouble. You may remember Newt Scamander's Niffler, who has a rather colourful personality. always getting up to no good. As it turns out, in Hogwarts Legacy, we can be just like Newt and have our own niffler as a fluffy companion. 14. Fwooper. The fwooper was a magical African bird with brightly coloured feathers, which could include orange, pink, lime green, and yellow. Listening to the fwooper's high-pitched, twittering song would drive the listener insane. Fwoopers aren't particularly well known among Harry Potter fans, so hopefully their appearance in Hogwarts Legacy will bring some awareness. 15. Centaurs. Centaurs are beings taken from Greek mythology that possess the upper body of a human and the lower body of a horse. The biggest distinction between centaurs of mythology and centaurs in Harry Potter is that Harry Potter centaurs are gifted in divination, a magical discipline that allows one to gather insights into future events. I've seen centaurs all over the Hogwarts Legacy footage, and they're known to inhabit the Forbidden Forest near Hogwarts, so I'm positive we'll get to interact with them. Whether that will be a positive or negative interaction is unclear. And that's it for this video. If you enjoy the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. What other Hogwarts Legacy videos do you want? Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.